A tour was done on Tuesday to get the growth of taxi operator from the Hope Road Transportation Center. They toured with President Kirk Brown, President Egeton Newman, President Lorraine Finnikin, and Mr. Dennis Scott, representing MP
Go on.
Shaw.
We are beg for the place with long time and it now fix. We here so we are going to get shed. Rain a fall, people have to run and wet up.
Explain to us what happened.
Did you hear that, sir? My driver come from that side. And we only feel when the wheel. We only feel when the wheel just drop in a one word. It broke away with my car. And because it not broke, it bigger make no damage to the car. I help other drivers have helped me and take it out.
So it break away with you?
Yes, man. Yes, man.
How long ago? You are black man.
Because serious, you know. Them boy help me before the car back out of the hole, man.
So you're weak or drop in at the hole?
Drop in at the hole. Until now, no proper authority no come and do anything about it.
So the hole, is it, after it's here when you drop that it break, it get wider and wider.
It break more, Mr. Brown.
It break more.
Of course, it break more. If you notice, you have to put one stick in there with a mark upon it. That person can identify.
How put it there?
Me not sure. I'm not going to lie about that. Paul Graham.
Paul Graham.
Yep.
Well, we are here today. Kirk Brown, President Eastern St. Thomas Taxi Association. Well, we are here today with some of our associates from Kingston, Mr. Egeton Newman here on the right, Mr. Marage here also on the right, and Mr. Finnikin also from the Adress Route Taxi Association. This is the Hope Road Transport Center where we've been long waiting for some work to be done. We're covering for the commuters, covering for the commuters covering for our passengers. You know, it's been a while now because, you know, it is not conducive at this point for our transport center and for our passengers because, you know, the bathroom need upgrade, the bus stop or the covering and seating needed at this point. Also the lightning at night, you know, that also need to be addressed. We also have a little issue at the entrance of the transport center where Hope Road and South Street is located, where there's a breakaway of one of the drainage pipe, and it causes a big ditch in the road, and it can be dangerous both for our passengers, our taxi operators, the fire truck, and also regular motorists. So we are looking forward to see some address to fix this problem, because we have been suffering over the years, and I don't know how long or how longer we should be living like this here in St. Thomas, Morant Bay, Hope Road. Thank you.
Egeton Newman, President of the Transport Operators. Egeton Newman, President of the Transport Operators, Development and Sustainable Services. Now, for the past 2 decades or more, we have been calling for the removal of a transportation space on Hope Road to a transportation facility. Over 20 years, and today we are still at square one, trying to get a transportation facility, not just at Hope Road, right? In the western section, east to western section of St. Thomas. And we can't take it any longer. All we're saying to the authorities, when we as taximen and busmen is involved in anything on the street, we've gone to court, we pay a bag of money. We are saying, give us the facilities to work with. And one of the most important facility is a transport center park and pick up. Not beside the post office, not beside the library, not beside the market, but our own facility. That the people who, the commuters will find us. And when rain fall, they have a place to shelter. And when sun hot, they have a place to shelter. And that's why the team of us, President Finnikin, President Brown and myself, and our team is asking for the official establishment of at least 2 facilities. I think the parish council has been working closely with President Finnikin, President Brown, and we have identified 2 spaces to establish these 2 facilities. And I must make a point to say that I like the drains. The first I see the drains so clean, and maybe they know that they're under pressure by President Brown, and that is why. And that's what we want here in St. Thomas. The leadership of the parish, in terms of transport sector, get to work, be at the doorstep of the authorities. Today's visit to St. Thomas is a continuing process to ensure that what we need in the facilities for the taximen and the busmen is provided. So let me call on the Member of Parliament, let me call on the parish council, the mayor, and the NWA. I see a sewage situation there that the commuters and the operators will be sucking in the stench every single day. It must be addressed. And we're going to be coming back shortly because we're going to ensure that not just St. Thomas, but every transport center across Jamaica must be addressed and addressed now. One group said time come. I don't know when time come. I am saying we need to be addressed now.
Okay, you mentioned about 20 years you have been waiting for.
Yes.
This. What are some of the challenges? Why we have not achieved that, and are we anywhere near achieving?
It's very clear. Political challenges. This mayor saying going to do something, not done. That MP saying going to do something, not done. That councillor for the area saying going to do something, not done. We are saying, and that is why the presidents you see here taking up their hand, because what we plan to do, if they're not doing it, we're going to get our own funding and do it. But what we want from them is to sign on the dotted lines that give us the go ahead. Because we're tired to wait on them. We're tired to wait on central and local government to provide things for us. I'm saying we want to be like a little Chinatown where the Chinese people come together and do their own thing. Too long we as a sector has been dependent on state. Time we become independent, and the policies we enforce that they are carried out. But we must get to work as business people and get things done.
Ready? My name is Dennis Marage. I'm here today representing Miss Rosemarie Shaw, Member of Parliament. She was unavoidable absent from this visit today with the townspeople because she has to be attending Parliament. She has had this has been a passion, this particular space, over the past maybe 15 years, as far as I can remember, being associated with Miss Shaw, has been a passion for commuters, because mostly these people, as a matter of fact, she has been passionate about Eastern St. Thomas in general, but Eastern St. Thomas. And this particular center here, or space here, really controls commuters for most of, if not all of, Eastern St. Thomas. The condition, I don't know if I can call it condition, the heavens that it has been left open to, is just what God has given us. There's no shelter, there's no proper roadway, there's no proper parking area, there's no proper shopping area, and people just cannot. The sun in the days they can't bear, and the rain when it comes is much too much. So efforts has been made outside of her being afforded that representational quality. Now that she has become the Member of Parliament, I'm so sure she'll be giving all she can to help in whatever way she can, whenever funds are made available. As others have mentioned before, the people here speak for themselves. They cry out, they can't do otherwise. The taximen, they are left open, but then there are conditions around to even outside of transport center that does not really even allow for proper commuting, proper waiting area. The drain we have here it's good to see this drain so clean this time of the year. Normally it's clean some other time. This time it's very clean, but it's a disgrace to see what the drain runs out into. All across, wherever goes across the main street from Hope Road, from South Street, is a health hazard. Black, nasty, dirty water down there, broken culvert, there's no proper runoff, and to compound the whole situation, walking on Rope Road could be a death trap, presently as it is. So I am saddened, but maybe happy to hear that the mayor had a visit here, looking over the spaces that the TODS personnel and others were trying to look over today. Unfortunately, these people were absent because of whatever reason they couldn't make it here. It would have been much better to have discussion, everybody looking at the same cause, and take the conditions for the same cause. Albeit I hope there will be some other kind of deliberation, communication, get together to see how better we can move these things forward. And as I will promise, I'll report as best as I can back to my member of parliament, and he's always going to be open for discussions and dialogue.
Lorraine Finnikin is the name. Lorraine Finnikin, President and Director of Communication of the All Voice Route Taxi Association. The All Voice Route Taxi Association, along with TODS, we have been doing a series of parish consultative meetings with presidents, owners, investors, and operators within the public transportation sector. And so from time to time, either the presidents or operators, investors within the respective location would have reached out to me or President Newman for some assistance with some of the challenges that they face. When the situation at the Hope Road Transportation Center was brought to our attention, we came over here in June of 2025 and we look at the entire situation that we have just looked at. President Brown could not be present the day because he had other engagement, but he knew we were coming in his space. The information was presented to the relevant authority, that is to include the parish council and the managing director of Transport Authority, who assured me in discussion I had with him that he would have bring the matter to the attention of the transportation minister, and he also instructed me to write directly to the mayor. Having communication with President Brown 2 weeks ago, he told me of advanced stage that has been made, in the sense that he was able to bring the mayor and members of his technical team directly on the spot, which they did a tour, measure up some places. What that tells us is that there is now some serious decision on the part of the authority to address the matter. We came back out here today to look at where the progress is, and we realize these places that has been identified. We realize that some areas of the transportation center has been cleared of debris. We also noticed that the drains are clean, and so we will continue to make representation. We have pledged, myself and President Newman, to give President Brown, the operators, owners, and investors within every public transportation space across Jamaica all the representational support that we can give to them. In spite of the fact that they are in St. Thomas, we are in Kingston, we are within the same public transportation sector. And the concern that President Brown has, the concern that his members have, we also have those concerns. And so we are going to be working as a team to ensure that these matters are addressed, not just in St. Thomas, but across the 14 parishes of Jamaica.
Can you point out some of the matters that you were trying to get changed or done?
Well, we're looking at transportation centers for those areas that don't have any. We're looking at those transportation centers that are in existence, but they need upgrading of the sanitary convenience, they need security, they need lighting. All of them need security, proper sanitary convenience, and lighting. But there are some of the parks that are full with potholes. Some of them that we have toured, and so we have been making representation through the parish council and the national work agencies to have those areas within those respective parks filled. There are other parks that they have proper surface, but they have no shed. Those parks, we're looking at the one in Discovery Bay, which I think about 3 weeks ago, myself and President Newman toured that one. And we're looking at the one in Falmouth, a very nice park. They have the surfaces very properly done, but they have no shelter. And so we visit them, I think, in July of this year. We were in Port Maria just 2 weeks ago in a consultative meeting, and we have been looking at parking again for the operators. We have been looking at those operators who refuse to use the park, and the mayor has given us his word that he will communicate with the police to ensure that those operators who are staying out of the park go in it. We are presently making representation for those operators that comes into Port Maria from Ocho Rios, but are not allowed to come into the town of Port Maria. They have to drop off their passengers somewhere about the better part of 5 minutes out of the town. And so we are making representation because the area that they leave, those passengers, there's no shed, no lighting, it is an area that is not populated. And so we're looking at the risk of our operators and also the risk of the commuters. Our next consultative parish meeting will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock at the Kingston and St. Andrew municipality.
All right. I heard Mr. Newman speaking about a matter of relocating. Was that a recommendation to those persons you spoke to, and what was your response?
No, the recommendation that I have just mentioned wasn't for relocation of any of the areas that I've mentioned. Oh, yeah, we were looking at relocation for St. Thomas, but up to when we came here June, we could not have identified somewhere suitable one and somewhere that could be readily, easily available. And so our original plan in June, which we had a long discussion with the operators out here that day, is that if we could get the materials from one of the state agency or one of the representatives, we would come over for a day, and the operators were willing to do the laboring. So we had started to ask for materials, and if we had gotten them, then myself and President Newman would have traveled from Kingston. The operators over here were willing to come out with a tool to put up the shed, and that shed was earmarked in close proximity to the bathroom facility. So while we're still looking at relocation, because this is a major thoroughfare, even since we were here this morning, we understand that the big trucks that can't take the corner on the top of the road here to come back around, they have to use here. This is gazetted as a one-way. And so the trucks now will have to come in every now and again, those delivery trucks. So a location will have to be looked at. But in the short term, we will have to renovate this, put in the necessary infrastructure so that our owners, investors, operators, and commuters can have a little bit more comfort. The media house is out here with us today, and we realize we have to be sheltered under tarpaulin from the sun or under a few sheets of zinc. Under no circumstances should our commuters and our investors, operators, should be operating in any condition like this. And it is something that we are very much willing to stand with President Brown out here to ensure that his members and his customers, who are the commuters, have somewhere comfortable to shelter from sun or rain while waiting on their respective transportation.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that's all. These things that drop can drop and create damage. That's my head. But then we talk about it, go to fix. You never,
Yeah, you love take front.
well, all right. No, what they all saying? No man, I
Overflow, it overflow. So it's free draw.
And we made a breakaway that this is address. You can offer a breakaway.
The both sides. You recognize the both sides.
Yes, yes.
It's good.
And not brick,
Calvert ship.
Calvert sheep, Calvert brick, or the floor of that drain. So it's at about 18 inches below where Calvert is, you know?
what, if anyone know what was this, what it was like before, guys, if you see there's a part of it.
Look at the kind of attention we took.
Right, over. Maintenance.
Just like here, look at, you can realize that this was repaired not so long ago. Look at the kind of concrete.
But this is more, and remember no, the fire truck after it come, the fire truck you could lift it, make the shed run, going to the east.
Good thing that the fire truck moves.
But if they can't
Most of the people here know it is like that in a long time.
guys,
We are so accustomed to knowing the condition that disaster that is part. We have to live with it, we can't tolerate it. That's what they make it, that's what they man do. I want all the already.
yes sir.
What?
Rosemarie. sewage.
Where coming from?
You smell it, I see it smell. You see it. And remember, I said this is a public area where people are transport center.
Where it coming from? It coming from inside the
Right there, sir. Right there, so before the step there, so.
No, we're saying the sewage is coming from inside here? Or the what?
I want to judge you up now. Said this sewage here, it come from all the way up to Juicy Beef and them places.
This one here?
Yeah, use this sewage.
So the sewage planted?
Eh?
Where the plant is? Where they come here, so where?
Don't see. See, I go there and I see, but you're supposed to run out. You want which part of treatment plant? Treatment plant are prospect. Them dry down here, don't like treatment plant are prospect.
There are sewage coming from
Yeah.
the town.
Make we go for the bathroom.
Oh, the police have a specialized vehicle.
Actually, one can rubbish this from morning.
Yes, TV, Jay, we need to call it to fix. Fed up, you know.
I run from the sun.
Based on what you mean, saying, like a pool.
Yes. We never that thing about over there, sir. But them see the space over there where can't put an next shed over there. So instead of just build the shed on this side, they have from both sides. Yes, you can clean up over there. You can clean up, you can bag up water. Yeah. So, me no knew. I father asked me to go over there, right there for them said.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
What am I going to do?
they must say they might use back one push up back the concrete up. But them not many years, all the rest of them are use back one push up back. And then 50. Because that's what right here some can fix. And then 50. Push up back and set this that. Yeah. And then the rest of them are concrete after that. To me, the whole entire year the concrete before. Over the years, it was seen to that thing.
Come on, come on.
So this is where them
So what is our view now? We have too much.
It makes sense because one on that side and that makes sense.
On the home.
Yeah, because it's stepping on the bathroom. So you have some most of it also. On that side there.
Sir Newman, will the police be here end up at No, but with that delay, did you schedule?
We have your car. Look at time now. I want to
Oh, it's the big.